In Visual Capitalist online magazine, there was an article published called Chartered: The Surging Costs of Training AI Models in the year 2025. Let's take a walkthrough. This article warned us about the actual cost of training AI models. As you can see by product, companies, there are key takeaways here. You can find this article and check it. The major narrative is that training AI models is not cheap, as I warned you about in previous session. Here is the statistics or data about year of release, model, maker and training costs, including inflation or adjusted inflation. Once again, the article name was The Surging Cost of Training AI Models. So, who can afford to train giant AI models? Let's take a look. In same Visual Capitalist magazine, there was another article, World Economy in One Giant Visualization. Let's take a brief look. As you can see, pie, world pie, is divided by segments. North America, which includes US, Canada and Mexico, Asia and Oceania, led by China. As you can see, China, India, Japan, and other major players. Europe, for example, Germany, UK, France, Italy, and so on. Middle East chunk, Latin America. As you can see visually, visual estimation, there are two major countries, US and China, which are obviously leading their continents. US, North America, and China, Asia. These countries can afford to subsidize AI model training. Once again, I'll show you. I recommend you to visit it. North America, Asia, Europe, Middle East, and South America or Latin America, as you can see. These two countries, US and China, are the major competitors on artificial intelligence market. Let's notice another thing. Global economy by GDP or gross domestic product. So what is gross domestic product? In open source Wikipedia, let's find a definition for gross domestic product. Even visually, you can see two big players, US and China. So, gross domestic product or GDP is a monetary measure of the total market value of all final goods and services. Attention, please. Goods and services which are produced and rendered during a specific period of time by a country or set of countries. GDP is often used, let me highlight it for you, to measure the economic activity of a country or whole region, like we've seen in a previous segment. The major components of GDP are consumption, government spending, net exports like exports minus imports, and investments. Now attention please, changing any of these factors can increase the size of the economy. For example, population growth through mass immigration can raise consumption and demand for public services, not actually producing anything, as you can see. However, GDP is not a measure of overall standard of living or well-being, as it does not account for how income is distributed among the population. This is important. And a note, a country may rank high in GDP, but still experience jobless growth depending on a planned economic structure or struggle or strategies. So, the world economy is calculated in GDP. And based on this, since this course is about artificial intelligence, let's move on to the major question now. In same open source, official and legal information about OpenAI company. Let's take a quick review, professionally quick, and see what kind of information we can extract from this open source. First of all, company type is private, industry, artificial intelligence. Founded, how long does it exist? 10 years. 10 years, it's pretty good. We're not interested in this information. Where headquarters are or key people. We're interested in products list. It's pretty impressive so far for 10 years of existence, but most important, this information. I warned you in my artificial course fundamentals opening that when you think about artificial intelligence, you need to think as a business person and a manager. So as a manager, you should have financial fundamentals. So for me, from all this, there are only few important points. First of all, revenue. I recommend you to check it periodically or yearly yourself. Revenue seems up 13 billion. However, most important, so what kind of profits they have? Net income. Net income is down. In year 2025, it was down $9 billion. It means that company does not make actual revenue yet. It means they're investing in R&D or research and development. They're working on company's capitalization and they do not generate the profit yet, despite of this big products list, pretty important one. Who are the owners? First of all, we can see Microsoft 27%, OpenAI Foundation 26%. Together they form 52%, which is majority of stockholders. And others are employees, which are not significant because the number of employees are only 4,500 by year 2026. Once again, you need to check it periodically yourself. And it means only 4,500. But investors are the most part. Once again, company is working on capitalization. Remember to always check net income. Now, We see the real financial situation in OpenAI company, which exists already for 10 years, which is significant to this market. Let's take a look at competitor. Once again, Wikipedia, open, official, legal information. Let's take a look at DeepSeek. Company type private also. Industry already artificial intelligence and information technology. And there is no any financial information available at all. Absolutely nothing. For how long this company exists? For 2 years so far. Right now it's 2026. I'm recording this session. 2 years only. But it already, this company produced compatible and competitive product on the market against OpenAI. Products only one, simply DeepSeek. Owner, but what's important, number of employees. We remember in OpenAI there were 4,500 and here only 160 employees. Only. It is really nothing for software company, total nothing. And they produced a product. Once again, most important for you right now to see that the no financial information here, nothing. Okay, I'll go down a little bit. There used to be a section here. Strategy. Here it is. Okay, so here's important sentence for me. For a person with financial education, if you are in IT industry, you should have at least some kind of basic financial education, like accounting, finance, marketing, etc. A little bit at least. But what's important for me is that DeepSeek has stated that it focuses on research and does not have immediate plans for commercialization. It means somebody supplies this company with capitalization, or simply speaking, money. That's what important. And that's the difference between two companies. At this year, which means right now I'm making this video session in year 2026, right now I don't see any financial information and OpenAI is quite open. However, they did not generate any actual profit. It means both companies are still in research and development stage and they're looking for future capitalization, both of them. Once again, and they are supported, obviously supported by governments, both of them, which is completely natural. Usually a normal government cares about their own companies.